Hello, welcome back to Tiny Glade. This is the castle I built in the previous episode, and today I'm gonna start from scratch, and I'm gonna build another Polish castle. This one is called the Chudów Castle. I hope I pronounced it right. And it is located in the southern Poland. So I begin with removing everything as usual and building some elevated terrain. This castle is also relatively simple, so that's why I picked it. So this castle was originally built as a wooden tower with a palisade around it in the first half of the 15th century. And after it burned down for unknown reasons, in the 1530s they built a new one in its place, with brick this time. So that's what I'm gonna be building. It's based on the restorations of how the castle looked like in around 16th century. And also the images of how it looks like today. Unfortunately today it's mostly ruined. However, in the 1990s they have rebuilt the main gate tower. So I used the photographs of the tower as a reference images as well. Overall, the layout of the castle is relatively simple. We pretty much have just this one big gate tower, and we have these two kind of elongated rectangular buildings, which were basically the living quarters. There's also a relatively thin portion in the rear, kind of opposite to the main tower, and the courtyard in the middle. I'm gonna keep referencing the drawing of the reconstructed castle, as well as the plan or schematics for the castle layout, because it allows me to get the proportions kind of right. On the plan of the castle you can see this structure in the rear portion, but my understanding is that they only built it in the 19th century, so I completely omit it for the sake of this build. I just found that it looks better without it. It takes me some time to fiddle around and get the proportions close to how it is on the images. So there is a lot of fiddling here. Honestly, I can't wait to start doing something more complex. I can't wait for the full release of the game to get more features and more building options. I referenced the modern images of the castle for the coloring, and it seemed like it had this kind of an orangey shade to it due to the color of the bricks that it was built with. And now I wanted to try to get this kind of an elevated staircase leading to the main entrance to the castle. And I tried creating some rocks first, but it didn't look right. So I just went with this staircase technique, where you just place a rectangular building and draw the path towards it. And if it's low enough, it's going to connect the stairs to the building. Also, I'm using the window tool to get the triple doors, which actually shows as a double door, but you need to put the window 3 times. I hope you get what I mean. And then I keep placing the windows all throughout the castle. The castle has this kind of an extension on the left side of the main gate tower, if you're facing the entrance. It looks like it's sort of like a toilet or something, and I ended up just using the triple window, which creates a similar kind of extension. But I think I'm gonna try something else in the future. Keep referencing to the restoration images to get the placement of the windows all throughout the castle. And then, in order to build the entrance to the tower from the other side, I'm basically extending the same rectangular portion and using the same technique there. I know it doesn't look exactly like on the images, but these are kind of the limitations that we have in the game. And I like to say that I'm not trying to create a perfect 100% accurate model of the castle, but rather just follow the historical images as a guideline. I was trying to create this sort of a overhang over the entrance door on the internal part of the castle, because once again you can actually see that in the modern images of the castle, but it just didn't look right. It was too bulky and it didn't look exactly like I wanted. So I basically just repurposed the same part to try to use it as that extension on the wall that looks like a toilet, instead of those triple windows that I've built earlier. I really like the looks of it, but it's just too big and too bulky. I actually don't remember if I ended up keeping it this way, but I think this is the closest we can get to a small extension of the main tower. And And then I kind of finish with the windows on the tower. Then I proceed to building the courtyard area, and I saw on these reconstruction images that the rear portion of the wall inside of the courtyard has these kind of columns, so I thought it was a good idea to use the path tool to completely remove one of the walls of the rear section of the castle, to create this kind of a shaded area where you can sort of walk underneath. It actually slightly reminds me of the Hogwarts castle as we see it in the films sometimes. Then I just proceed building the doors on each wing of the castle, each portion of it. This is not based on anything, because the reconstructions that I found don't include any doors. So this is just my fantasy basically. Then I wanted to connect all the doors with a path, so you could sort of reach everywhere you need. And then I thought, why don't I just fill all the courtyards with the path and just make a little garden in the middle. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I fill in the empty space with windows. And I got this pair of windows connected with a string, with some sheets or clothing hanging from it. And I kinda like this effect, so I decided to keep it. And then I finish off with the windows on the external parts of the structure. The reconstruction images do not show the castle from the right side or from the rear, and in the modern days these portions of the castle are kind of ruined, so the position of the windows here is completely arbitrary and basically made up. After that is done, I proceed with just placing lanterns everywhere I feel like it. I really like placing the lantern right next to the door. I also wanted to place one of the lanterns hanging on a pole, like a street lamp, and I couldn't find a suitable place for it anywhere, so I just placed it outside. I keep wanting to do something about this overhang that you can see on the internal portion of the tower, right above the door, but I just end up leaving it like that. And I think I'm pretty much done with this. So I went into the photo mode, and to my surprise I found this feature where you can actually walk around your creation in the first person. You could probably see I couldn't walk through the door, but this is because this is not an actual door, but like a window that is connected to the floor, which turns it into a door, but the game doesn't consider it a door. So if it was an actual door used with a path instead of the window, you would be able to go through it, which I'm gonna show you in the next episodes. Here I'm just flying around and taking a few screenshots here and there in different lighting conditions. I really like the courtyard section here. It turned out to be much cozier than I expected. I didn't know what to put inside originally, and I thought it was gonna look kind of empty. But I am very satisfied with the result. Looks very nice. The only thing, I would probably like to build a well inside of the courtyard if I were to come back, but I didn't think about it at the time. Yeah, I'm kind of satisfied with the result, considering the limitations we have in the demo. The only thing is the roofs. I just wanted to have this kind of a double angle on the roofs that you can see in the original images, so the best way to do that is to use the built-in tools that allow you to make the roofs kind of caved in, but it doesn't really look exactly like I wanted. But other than that, it's kind of alright. So, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please let me know. And I hope to see you in the next video. I have already recorded something and can't wait to share it with you. So I hope I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching.